VAT attacks debt. Coming up, find out how that fits into the country's fiscal plan.
A man accused of killing his mother appears in court.
And in sport, celebrations underway in Stingray Town. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
A heated debate in the halls of Parliament as debate began on the mid-year budget. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. The mid-year budget covers the period from July 1st, 2014 to December 31st last year. While government members applaud their success in rolling out VAT and reducing expenditure, members of the opposition question the government's position on public finances. Janae Noel Ferguson covered proceedings in the House of Assembly this morning.
Though the implementation of a value-added tax might have been the cornerstone of the government's fiscal reform plan, Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis maintains that government was not pressed by credit rating agencies to implement VAT. He noted, though, the importance of their ratings to improve the financial climate. More importantly, he said, is the government's ability to lower the country's debt, and it's all a part of a consolidated plan that the Christie administration plans to reduce expenditure, increase revenue, and lower debt.
Our medium-term plan, as I alluded to, calls for the deficit to fall to 1.4% of GDP in 2015-2016. That is the budget that we will present in May of this year. So again, from 6.3% in the first year to 1.4% in the fourth year, and then to below 1%, 0.9% in 2016-2017, Mr. Speaker, and we are determined to get there.
But it was opposition Deputy Leader Peter Turnquest who questioned the government's bright outlook. With unemployment figures and certain revenue collections down, Turnquest suggested that government might have gotten lucky given the change in tide in the global economy.
Let's look at import and export duties, Mr. Speaker. Down 6%. Now this is in an economy that they say is recovering and that we're so optimistic about. This is during a period when we have significant construction going on down the road. The real property tax collection now, something that we're supposed to be making efforts to collect, is actually down 10%. Company fees have actually decreased by 4%.
This, however, prompted a response from MP for Elizabeth Ryan Pinder and Halkitis, who sought to defend the government's figures.
You actually look at them in the aggregate. There's an increase in the variance for this fiscal year. He is misleading the Bahamian people.
The member is for East Grand Bahama is correct that import and export duties are down by $10 million. But right below that, excise duties, which is also payable on imports and exports, is up by $26 million. Property tax is down by $6 million, Mr. Speaker, but as I said, in 2013, we had a property tax amnesty where there was close to $30 million in back taxes were paid, and so the number for 2013 would have been elevated.
The point that I make, though, Mr. Speaker, is that import duties and export duties are down 6%. It represents, or it is an indicator of the health of our economy.
Now debate on the mid-year budget continues. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Also contributing to the mid-year budget was Minister of State for Works and Urban Development Arnold Forbes, who highlighted the success of government for various projects. However, he said government's plan toward a national healthcare initiative must be priority, as no healthcare could mean a matter of life and death. He suggested that 30% of the Bahamian population is privately insured, while the remaining 70% have to rely on public healthcare services.
If you do not have health insurance, or some means by which to gain health services, Mr. Speaker, quite literally you will die. You will die in this country without it, Mr. Speaker. I believe that among the other important milestones that will be accomplished during this administration, I believe we have to place national health insurance as one of the top things to accomplish.
During his communication, the Prime Minister said the upcoming budget will represent the framework for national health care. Forrest believes it could not have come at a better time.
National health insurance will pave the way so that 70% will have the ability, when they're sick, Mr. Speaker, in a society, Mr. Speaker, like the Bahamas, where you have breast cancer that is rife, where you have prostate cancer that is rife, Mr. Speaker, and all other manner of illnesses, Mr. Speaker, that are rife in our country today. People do not have the means by which to fight back. National health insurance will ensure that Bahamians have the ability to seek proper and competent health insurance.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Bernard Noddard, says it's only a matter of time before legislation for the National Intelligence Agency is before Parliament. The agency is one that has been the target of much criticism from the opposition. The Free National Movement has called for the agency to be shut down, claiming that it's operating without the proper framework to govern it.
Legislation was prepared. When the Attorney General's office when we thought it was completed, there were certain issues that they wanted to benchmark against intelligence agencies in other countries. And for that reason, it was delayed. It is virtually completed, and I expect it to be tabled shortly.
The National Security Minister also defended the role of the intelligence agency.
The agency is not illegal. It's a unit that the Ministry of National Security has set up to help us get intelligence information about crimes, about criminals, and to help us to be able to bring them to justice. I don't know what could possibly be illegal about that. They're not interfering with citizens. They're not arresting people or apprehending them or detaining them. They're simply seeking information, which I wish every member of the community would take part in.
The man accused of setting fire to Bamsey has his day in court.
And authorities beef up security as investigations continue into that Christmas Eve fire at the industrial park. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.